everybody. Happy Monday, March 1st. Don't you love it when Monday is the first of the month? It just seems like, Mondays are fresh starts. I love Mondays because they're fresh starts to a new week. And then when they're the fresh start to a new month, oh my gosh, that's even better. So it's Monday. Hi, Stacy. How are you? It's Monday, March 1st. And if you're here, say hello. Don't be shy. Love to chat. I'm in a new space. My husband and I changed offices. So it's a work in progress right now. But and the walls are a little not really good for filming. They're a little I need whiter walls. They're kind of I don't know, beigey, which is relaxing for sleeping. But so that's in the works. Painting the new space, and gonna go to IKEA sometime this week and get some new storage items because my closet is not as big. But I'm excited about it because that means I'll clean out and purge and get everything ready to go. We got a new catalog coming in May, so that's going to be here before we know it. We are in Advent season, not Advent, Lenten season right now. So I thought we would make a little basket. So it's a little, you can use it for an Easter basket. I put Easter blessings on there. I thought they would also make great little bridal shower, baby shower favors. They kind of remind me of a berry basket. They're all over the internet. It's nothing new, so I didn't come up with this design myself. But I just got to thinking that Easter will be here before we know it, and let's start doing some fun spring Eastery things. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you today. I am using the paper from the spring and summer. Well, it's the spring mini catalog. This is the Hydrangea Hill paper. And there's a whole suite built around this paper. It's very feminine, very floral. I love this print. I like when there's a lot of white, but I chose a smaller print for our basket because you really can't see what's on there. It's just kind of oh, look at that. Wow. Then the back sides are more of your smaller prints. I like this one too. That's a real pretty print. This is on page, I should pull that out in case you're interested. If you do not have a spring mini catalog, please message me or put a comment below and I'll get in touch with you and we will get one out to you. If you are in the United States, I can get one out to you. Okay, it's on page 19 of the mini catalog. It goes with the Hydrangea Hill suite, which there's a whole suite of products. The ribbon's gorge. I love that ribbon. The little pastel pearls are really pretty too, and it's got the stamp and the die set to match. But we're just using the paper today to make our basket. And I chose this print because it was a small print and I thought it would be easier. Well, it's not really going to show up because these are just 1/2-inch strips that we're making our basket with. So let's get started because it's not hard. It's just a lot of steps. I did a little cheat sheet here for the scoring and cutting, but all you need to make this basket, besides the little designer series paper strips, is a 6x6 piece of cardstock. And since we're doing so much scoring, I'm going to use my scoring Simply Scored board just to keep me on track. You could use your trimmer. And we're going to score it on one side at, and I'll have all of this in the description when I get off here today. I'll post it all up in the description above the video so you can come back and refer to it. But we're going to score it at 1/2. This is Stampin' Up's Simply Scored board, and if you're going to make 3D projects, it's really a nice thing to have to use for your scoring. 1/2 inch, I think it's 2 inches next. 2 inches, 4 inches, and then 5.5. Anyway, the Simply Scored board comes with this little storage thing. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but there's a little storage thing at the top. It comes with little picks to kind of keep track if you're going to make multiples. It's pretty nice. Like I said, if you are into making 3-dimensional paper crafting products, it's worth the investment. And I don't think it's a big investment. It is $30. So I've done the scoring 1/2 inch, 2 inch, 4 inches, 5.5. I'm going to turn that paper around 45 degrees, and we're going to do that again. 1/2 inch, 2 inch, 4 inch, and 5.5. And all that scoring is really going to do is give us some cutting and folding guidance. Like I said, I've got my little cheat sheet here, and you'll see what all that scribble means here in a minute. But we've got all these scored lines. Hi, Carol, how are you? And the first thing I'm going to do is, you'll see I've trimmed off these outer corners. So I'm going to cut right on these score lines. And I will include this diagram it'll be on my blog. I don't know that I can put a diagram in the description. In fact, I know I can't. Because it will allow me, I don't think it'll allow me to put a photo in the description. So I'm just taking these corners off, and I'm going to do that on every side, on all 4 corners. Hi, Debbie. I don't know what it's like where you're at, but it's pretty nice here in Kansas City. I think spring, I don't want to jinx it. I think spring is coming. We had our kiddos over and our grandkiddos over yesterday, and we grilled out. The boys played football outside. Okay, so I've taken the corners out. There's my diagram. Now see these red stripes here? I'm just going to cut up on those score lines here. These are going to be the sides of our boxes. I'm calling it a box. It's basically a box, but we're going to turn it into a basket by adding these little designer series paper strips. So there we go. And like I said, I will have this diagram and everything over on my blog, theplaidpoodle.com, later today. And you can look it back, refer back to that. But see how we're going to fold these in. Now, since these are the tabs that are going to be inside the box and they're not going to show, I always like to kind of cut a little diagonal trim on them. It just kind of helps square up the box well. I just find it helpful to trim the tabs just a little bit. Miss the beach? Yes, I do. I notice my tan is fading quickly, Mary. How are you, Mary? Mary Gunn said, am I missing the beach? Yes, I am a water person. I love the water. So yeah, I am missing the beach. I don't know how I got stuck in the middle of the country where we have lots of nice lakes though. So they're nice. And Debbie, yes, the grilling, we had hamburgers and hot dogs. We needed to keep it simple. Everybody came here after church, so it needed to be kind of down and dirty. So we did hamburgers. Okay, I'm chatting here, not talking about my box. So here's our box. If you look at my the guide there, you can see where we cut off the corners, and then I cut up, I should do it this way, and then I cut up on these two sides. So these are going to fold up, these little tabs are going to fold in, and that's going to make like a box, okay? So I'm just going to use a little, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Yes, we're going to assemble the box first. Trying to remember how I did this. I'm just going to use a little multi-purpose liquid glue on these tabs. You probably want to use a stronger adhesive. This one's a good one. We're going to use tear and tape here in a minute. That's a good one. The Stampin' Seal Plus, that's a good one. You just want, since it's going to be a basket and it's going to hold things, you probably want to just use a stronger adhesive. Okay, there's our little box. And then these flaps are going to fold down the opposite way to the outside. Okay. Okay, now the little strips are real easy. I've just taken a piece of 3 by 5. Yes, 3 by 5. And before I cut it into strips, I am going to add some of my tear and tape to the top edge, right along the top edge. It'll just save me time later. This is kind of an optional thing, but you'll see what I mean. So the tear and tape has a little, I call it a baloney strip. It's like it's two-sided tape, but it's not sticky until you pull that little adhesive backing off. And then I'm going to cut this into 6 half-inch strips. But before I do that, I'm going to score it, and I'm just going to use my trimmer to do that. I am going to score this at 1 1/2. And at, I think, 5, yes. No, that can't be right. 3 by 5, score at 1.5 and 3.5. Sorry, 1.5 and 3.5. We'll have a 2-inch panel here, and that will be the bottom of our box. And now we're going to cut this into 1/2-inch strips. So now we've got all of our scoring done. We've already got our adhesive on there. Instead of scoring each strip individually, I did it that way. So all 6 of them. Hopefully that cut straight. Yes, good, yay. So now all 6 of them are scored. There's our little score marks. We don't have to do it individually. Okay, so we're going to take each of these strips and we're going to put 3 on this way. And I'm going to tell you the most important place to have your adhesive is right at this corner. You want it to really lay flat at that corner. Ask me how I know. You want it to lay flat at the corner so these little puffy places puff up properly. Carol says it's raining and yucky in Connecticut, going to extremely cold tomorrow. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think we're supposed to have a pretty good week. Okay, and this is how I did it so I could get things centered the way I like it. I put 1 on each end. And like I said, make sure you have it right on this corner edge very securely. Because when we go to make this bubble, it's just going to help if that's really secure. Right along that edge. Okay, and then I'm going to put this 1 right in the middle. Okay, so we've got those 3. Then we're going to go and put the final 3 this way. We're just going to repeat the same process crisscross. If you hear that noise in the background, that's my dog making her little nest in her bed. If you join me later, I said at the beginning that my husband and I are switching workspaces. He just needed something a little different. My actual craft room was smaller than what he was using. He was actually kind of using our guest room. And since my mother has been ill, she lived with us for a few weeks, as you might know. And we kind of moved her upstairs. Anyway, we're just playing, we're playing room roulette. So now that he's kind of settled, he's going to use the smaller space, and I have exciting plans for this larger space that he was using. But as always, like these things go, it's a work in progress. Like I said, we're going to go to IKEA sometime this week, maybe. And we need to paint in here because you can tell by the color of the walls, I just like to have brighter brighter. You know, I like to have more of a white, or I had a kind of an ice blue in my other room. It just helps with the lights when you're working on crafts. Okay, so there's those things. Now, remember we put the little tear and tape along the edges? So I am going to take those little, I call them the adhesive backing off. I said I kind of like to call it like bologna tape. You know how bologna has the little red deals. And then we're not going to adhere it right up against the score line. We're going to kind of curl it and adhere it about 1/4 of an inch down, so it makes that little curl. See? So it's about 1/4 of an inch down from that score line. Make sure it's straight. And there's that little curl. Isn't that cute? And I think that's what gives it the kind of berry basket look. And then we can just use that first one as our guide. And line them all up, and then our basket flap will come back over top of those, so you won't be able to see those edges. And if you want, you can take a little pencil or a little, this is my stylus, kind of but I don't think it's really necessary. It's not really rocket science. But it does kind of help form the little bubble. I'm calling it a bubble. And I use the tear and tape just because it doesn't take, I don't have to wait for it to dry really. So now I'm going to take this one and make sure it's about the same height as that one around the corner. And then just kind of use my fingers to put that little bubble in there. Loop, bubble, loop, loop-de-loop. Like I said earlier, these would make, hi Julie, good to see ya. Thank you. These, I did these for like a little Easter favor basket, but you could, I think these would be cute for May Day baskets or party favors for, you know, a bridal shower, baby shower, anything like that. They're really fun and they're pretty easy. And you don't really need any special tools. I use the Simply Scored board just because it helped me and it's quicker. But you could use your paper trimmer as well to measure out those strips. Or to score your box, I mean. Okay, now we're on our last side. The hardest part is getting that adhesive backing off. I'm using my paper piercer thingy. There we go. These would be fun for the little kiddos, you know, just change up your designer series paper. I've made them real feminine and floral, but you could make them more childlike. Okay, so there we go. Now all I'm going to do is glue these flaps down. And that's going to cover up those edges. I also wanted to mention that Wednesday morning I have to take my mom to get some blood work done and an imaging, some kind of something. We're going to radiology and lab. And then Wednesday evening, afternoon, evening, I have one of my grandchildren's birthday. She's going to be 5. And so we're going to go over there and wish her a happy birthday. So I'll be busy Wednesday. So I thought I would do coffee and a card on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. So this week we'll do coffee and a card Thursday, and I always post reminders and things, so you'll see that. Okay, you could just leave your basket just like this, but I thought it looked kind of nice and more finished with a strip around that top, and then it also covers up these edges. Oh, your grandson will be 12? He's a March baby. We have 2 March babies. This Friday is my first grandson. He will be, oh my gosh, he'll be 8. And then he's 8 on the 5th, so that's Friday, right? And then my little Jordan, Sam will be 8, and Jordan's on the 3rd of March. She will be 5. So we're going out for Mexican food. She wants to go to this place called Mojitos because they sing happy birthday to you. She chose that. So we're going to go to Mojitos and she wants them to sing happy birthday to her. So that'll be fun. So now what I'm doing is I've taken another 1/2-inch strip of the Designer Series paper and it measures 8.5. It's going to be too long, but these sides measure 2 inches, and then it just takes up a little bit more to go around the corners. So I'm just going to trim off anything that overflows at the end. I just thought it made the basket look a little bit more finished. But it's really your own personal preference. If you put this is kind of an optional thing, but I kind of liked it. So there's just a tiny bit left over, and I'm just going to trim that off with my snips. So there's our little basket. Isn't that cute? Okay, then we're going to add the little handle, and that's just a 6-inch by 1/2 inch. So all of these strips are all 1/2 inch. And decide which you want to use for the front, what looks the best. That's how I decide. And then put a little adhesive just on the ends of your handle. If you're going to have anything really heavy in your basket, you might want to do a 1/2 inch by 6-inch piece of cardstock and then cover it with the DSP. But I found that this was, I'm just going to put some little chocolatey things or something in there, so I thought it was going to be sturdy enough. Okay, so there's the little basket. Now to make the little filler, well, let's do our tag first. Because you can use any kind of filler. I'm just going to take a scrap of Whisper White, Basic White, it's called now, Basic White cardstock, and some Memento ink. And I wonder, I thought use Gorgeous Grape this time for my Easter blessings, if I can reach it. Oh, here it is. I'm keeping my inks up here on my work surface now, since I moved everything. That's another nice thing about moving. You kind of think about things a little differently, how you want to. I kind of like that better. It's in the Gorgeous Grape, so that will coordinate with our paper. This one I did in the Memento Tuxedo Black, and it's okay. It's such a small little sentiment, it doesn't really matter. I took the sentiment from the Itty Bitty Greetings set. This is in the annual catalog. There's about every event or sentiment you would need in there. And I'm cutting out the tag using the smallest stitched oval die and then the smallest scalloped oval die. So I'm using 2 sets of dies. I could have just used the smallest from the one set, but I had this stitched and I just kind of like that stitched look. And I am going to cut that. And then we'll die cut this out. And then I just had a wild thought. Do you guys think while you're, oh, I should do this. I'm going to use this mini Stampin', I'm going to turn it this way, cut and emboss machine. There we go. I hate that shakes the whole table. It's just a very simple little tag, and we're hardly doing any stamping today. But sometimes that's the way it is. And then I'm going to connect these two using the mini dimensionals, the little mini ones. And then I'm just going to pop that on there. Is that crooked? It's a little crooked, but I think it'll be okay. Oh, you guys, it's going to drive me nuts. There we go. That's better. I think I'm going to pop that on there with just a plain old dimensional. A couple of those. I think I'll just stick them right on the basket. And these be cute at everybody's little place at Easter. Do you host Easter? I usually host Easter. It's kind of a given in my family. Okay, so that's all I did. Now these little, the filler, I was out of any light or pastel colored filler, so I kind of made my own. So I thought I'd show you a minute how I do that. Here's a scrap. This is Purple Posy. And I just take my trimmer and I just make the tiniest little things, strips. The tinier, the better. And you just do several. I'm not going to bore you with the whole situation there, but just the tiniest little strips, and then just wad them up and wad them up some more. You know, the more you kind of play with them, the fiber breaks down and they're a little softer. And then you just have your own color coordinated filler. Isn't that cute? Now, I was just thinking, over the weekend I got a shipment. So if you'll hold on, if I know where it is, because we moved. I was gonna see, I got these butterfly gems, but I don't know that any of the colors, the blue might look good. And we'll just put one, oh, look, there's purple ones. Are the colors on here? Awesome. That was the thought I had while I was putting this together. I thought, now if there was just a cute little embellishment. And I just remembered that these came in over the weekend. So I am going to put one of these little butterflies on there. Isn't that cute? I'll put one of the little ones on too. I'll put two of them on there. Ah, so cute. Love that. That was the missing piece. It needed something. Okay, that is the project. I don't know how easy it is for you to see, if it's easier to see like this or not. But they're just cute little baskets. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, I will be not here on Wednesday. I will be here Thursday morning at 10 a.m. for Coffee and a Card. So a more appropriate time for Coffee and a Card. And we'll make a card together. So I'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.